with the low light, I think, you know?
I would agree with that.
What's up, everybody? I am camping right now out in the middle of nowhere with Phil from Down to Mob and my newest buddy Brian.
What's up, everybody?
Off-road backcountry adventures. Yeah, we'll just keep going with that.
Backcountry. What's up, everybody? I'm here. Got my 2005 Toyota Tacoma I've been living in for almost 6 years, and just got a bunch of truck upgrades done. So I wanted to show you what they're all about. So the first thing that I got here, this is the pinnacle of the upgrades. It's the swing out bumper from Brute Force Fab. Brute Force Fab is a company that makes bumpers for the Tacomas, the Tundras, and the Sequoias. So it's just a Toyota company. They're based out of California. I think it's Clovis, California, I think is where they're at. And this bumper, it's about a 6-month lead time because they've got tons of orders. But the bumper swings out, obviously. It's got this drop-down table, which is super, super useful. The next thing that I have coming is I have this mount here for a propane tank, the 5-gallon, like tall Worthington propane tank. And this is actually going to go right here on this part. If you can see, there's still a space open on the back. I've got my jerry can mounts here, but this will go here. And then the way this works is you put this on a slide. I've got it tied in right now. But you put it on a slide and then you just pull it like this, lock it. You got your propane right there. And as you can tell, Phil is very impressed.
Sorry, I love being in videos. I'll keep quiet though.
But not only that, we were impressed. Like even he was like, "Oh my God, look at this thing!" And when we saw you, met up with you at the brewery, first thing you had to get some out. He's like, "Oh, look at him!"
Yeah, you see me? I was like showing off my butt. I'm like, "Does this make my butt look big?"
I was like, Brian doesn't need anything. He just wants everyone to see that his bumper swings out.
Dude, I'll roll into like a parking lot. I'll like set up. And I'll be like, I'll look around. I'll be like, "All right, get this bitch open."
Anybody looking?
Whip it out. Yep. So, but that's nice. So I got the wrong size propane tank. I got the 5-pound one here, but I got to get the Worthington one that's like this tall. So get that squared away and I'll be good to go. And then also too, obviously the full size tire for the mount, which would be great. That way if I ever get in trouble in the backcountry, I'll be in good shape. I got the side protectors here a little too late. As you can see, I've already got a little bit of road damage.
Nice little ripple there.
You need a Band-Aid.
I think I've literally hit probably a dozen trees on this side. I'll clip them when I'm going around a trail. And so I can get underneath here and I can just pop it back out. So that's what I've done over the years, and just create that wavy effect. Everybody's like, yeah, that doesn't really do much protection. I'm like, yeah, I got it after the fact. So.
You can totally tell that you keep popping them back out.
Yeah, you can see where my fingers are at. Yeah, my clunk, clunk, clunk.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but I had to cut off like a foot here. So it's like the Tacoma comes down to right here, the quarter panel does. We cut off a foot to put that on there. So
I didn't even notice that first, did you?
Yeah. This is there's two options when you're doing a rear bumper: the right way, this way, and the cheaper way, or the less protective way, which leaves you to damage this part. But yeah, you can come slamming down. It's cool.
Yeah, so that's good. And then I relocated the hitch mount, which was hanging real low. It's actually behind my tags here.
Oh,
so
sweet.
What I'm gonna do is get the tag that the thing that flips up, and then I've got the hitch mount right there.
Heck yeah.
So
that's really awesome.
That's good. And altogether, I mean, the bumper only weighs like a total of 250 with the swing out, 250 pounds, which I was like, all together, I thought it was gonna be more than that. So 250 is not bad.
Dude, I gotta say, seeing your truck multiple times without it, now like this.
Oh, it's so convenient.
Game changer. It's so cool.
Because see, the problem is like the best part about truck camping is having your tailgate to work on, and that was negated when I had the slide-out extension. So back when I used to have the platform bed in here, it was no problem because I'd just sit here all day long and tinker with shit and work on gear, and you know how it is. You just find stuff to do all day long. So I'd always be working on my tailgate. When this came out, I'm like, I literally was like lost for like 3 months after I built this. I'd like get out of my truck and I'd be like,
what do I do with my hands? Where do I put things?
What do I do with my hands?
And then I get this, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm back in business. Because like once I get a different topper here and get rid of the slide out, because I'm going to do the AT Atlas Overland, or the AT Overland Atlas.
Oh yeah. Once
I get rid of this slide out and have the tailgate again, I'll have like an L shape here to work on stuff. It's going to be great for truck camping. So it's nice having this again, because you're always like, the one thing I like about truck camp is I'm always on my feet, and so I'm always up and about doing things, and this is like a perfect workstation for everything. I was even thinking about doing something clip-on here where I could have a pantry that could open up and have like my salt and stuff like that.
That'd be a good idea.
So yeah, but it's nice to have that. Another thing I got from Brute Force Fab is I got the rock sliders. So got these, got them welded onto the frame, so I have legit sliders now instead of the bullshit
Those are
side
sweet.
steps. Yeah, I don't really like these, and they were cheap. They're only $400 for the pair.
That's awesome.
With the inset.
You can step on them too to get up to stuff. Like that's great.
And they're angled in, so it's like I won't slide off them like the
Oh,
other ones.
isn't that gnarly when you step off and...
Well, dude, so like winter camping, my feet are always wet from my boots are. I would slide off that a million times, and then you get those like bruises there, and you invent new cuss words, you know?
Yeah. Like when you're a kid on a bicycle, wham!
Yeah, you're just like, fuck. You
know?
Oh,
the bike pedal to the shin?
Yeah, dude. Hopefully you don't rack your apple back too on that middle bar after. Like,
yeah, that was the worst. Another upgrade was the Dometic bridge. So going with the 45 instead of the 28. Because I had the CFX 28 before, but now this is the new series of the 45.
I need to get a light on that. That thing's pretty. Yeah. Because it's black, you can't see it anymore.
I should be lighting you guys up with our O-lights.
Oh. That's right.
And then I ripped out the back seats here too. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people that have Tacomas, the back seat takes up so much space, and so, you know, if you think about it, you have an entire pad here that comes out to here, and then an entire pad back here that's flush. And when you take all that out, you can see the amount of storage that I have.
Yeah.
And so this is like the prototype that I did initially, and I'm going to redo it to make it look a little bit nicer and actually put a shelf here that can come out and like have like drawers and
like
stuff.
A slider.
Yeah. But I did that just initially, so I'm like, I want to see if it works. And like that was a prototype. I'm like, oh, I'll do it for like a month, and then I'll build it out of aluminum. And I started jamming it. I'm like, I'm not getting back off the road to go build something else. I'll just keep rolling this. So a lot of stuff I'll do is prototypes, and I'm like, fuck it, it works.
Yeah, right.
Let's keep going. Let's see, what else did I get? Oh, I got the ended up getting the dual air compressor underneath the hood here.
Oh, nice.
For wheeling, so that's really nice for when I either need to operate my it's right here, the dual ARB air compressor. So I can either run my air locker.
That's a good way you mounted it too. I like that.
Yeah, it's real nice. It's kind of out of the way, and I can still have enough space over here for a secondary deep cycle battery if I want to.
Oh,
and
nice.
so I can move this because they have a kit to where you can move this over, and this. The snorkel intake here kind of messed it up a little bit, but I can move this over to here and still have the deep cycle battery here. So I've got the lithium ion in the back, which is okay. I mean, that, you know, those are great if the temperature is good, but under 27 degrees, they stop operating.
And you're like the winter camping.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's like I'll wake up in the morning, and if my stove goes out in my tent, you know, it'll get below 27, and then the battery won't work until the sun comes up and solar starts kicking it again. So, but I mean, it kicks back on pretty fast when that happens, but it's just, you know, you're dead in the water for that time period.
Yeah,
exactly. So snorkel's nice. It's a better air intake. The Tacoma has the worst air intake on the planet that's normally right here. Factory air intake. So like when you're wheeling on trails, all that dust is coming right up in here. And it's also a restrictive air intake to where you don't have as much air coming in, so it impedes the engine performance. So this is nice because it gives it about, I don't know, 15 more horsepower. And it's a better air intake. The air up here is not going to be nearly as dirty as down there. And everybody mistakes and says, oh, it's for water. I'm like, it's actually for air.
Right.
It's just a better air intake. So you can get a cold air intake for here, and that's okay, but it's not nearly as good as this.
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
Let's see what. Oh, I forgot the upper control arms. So if you're gonna go, if you have a Toyota, if you've got an FJ Cruiser, a Sequoia, a Tundra, or a Tacoma, I really recommend, if you're gonna get a lift, to upgrade the upper control arms, because these are the JBA off-road upper control arms, and they make them just for Toyotas. Oh no, actually they make them for Jeeps too. And this is giving me an extra inch of travel in the control arm. So when I'm going on these trails now, instead of being all bumpy, because I've got that old man Emu lift from ARB, so it's really stiff, which is great for overlanding because you can literally beat the shit out of it. It'll never fail. And
load them down too, weight them down.
Yeah, you can just, I mean, I've never had an issue with it, but it's just stiff as hell. And this has improved the ride by tenfold.
Nice.
And this is only a $400 upgrade. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, plus install. But I mean, if you're looking at like Radflow shocks, like adjustable shocks for the Tacoma, that's $2,700.
Yeah.
So that's a big investment. And this right here, I mean, my friends that have Radflow, I can follow them just fine. And I'm like, yeah, I'm rolling. I'm like, I don't have any problems in my truck, you know. So.
Or you could get Icon Vehicle Dynamics.
All right, in the back here, I'll show you the battery that I'm rocking real quick.
Sorry.
The battery is just behind the seat here. So it's the Tower battery. It's the same. It's the Max Oak Blue Eddy.
Okay.
Do you have the EB150?
No, I have the AC50. He's got
You got
all
the
of them.
240? Okay. So yeah, this is the 150 that I have here. Yeah, he's got all of them.
He's got, oh.
But what's convenient about this is so I've got this little fan here that I'll run for Sierra, because this is the bed I created for Sierra back here. So I can run off there, or I can easily transport it into my truck topper here just through the pass-through. Oh, like nice. That. And so I can literally sit right here, work on my computer at night and like do stuff, reach back in through here, reach into the cooler, you know, grab whatever treat I want to snack on, grab the power or access power, access, you know, toilet paper and all that stuff. I mean, I can literally sit there and do everything. I don't need to have like a massive space. Nice. So it's like I figured out how to make it work. I mean, it's a small space and it wouldn't be perfect for everybody living like this. But if you can figure out how to do it, it opens up so much terrain. Because like we were talking, you know, there's a few times where you're not able to get in those spots. You're like, man, I wish I had a smaller rig. So that's the kind of the trade-off that I do. I was like, I compromise my comfort for the convenience of going anywhere.
And you really have to like keep in mind anything that you want to put in there. You know what I mean? Carry with you that's not already in there, like adding stuff. You got to keep it really minimal, everything.
Yeah, and that's been the challenge at Christmas. I've like told family and friends, are like, hey, what should I get you? I'm like, don't give me anything. Yeah. I don't have any room. Right? Like I really don't want anything.
Give me a gift card or something if you have to. You know? Yeah. What is this? That's this is your shower?
Yeah. So this was the prototype for Road Shower. So when Road Shower 7 years ago or 6 years ago got started, this was the Kickstarter for it.
Really?
So like it didn't even come with a logo when I got it. And I spray painted it black again because it faded. But I've used the same hose the entire time that I've had this. It's never, the seals on it haven't failed or anything.
How long have you had it?
I think 6 or 7 years.
The whole time you've been out almost, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I even used it in the wintertime, and the seals in here haven't frozen to where they've popped at all. So it works well, and I can get cold creek water in here in the morning at like 40 degrees, 45 degrees, and 2 hours in the sun, that'll be up to like 104.
Really? Gosh, dang.
Yeah, and if you do it to where you leave just a little bit of a airspace on top here, when that water heats up, it'll self-pressurize because it expands. If you fill it all the way up to the top and it gets warm, it doesn't really do much. But like if you do it to where you leave a little bit of air in there, then you can do like about a 3 or 4 minute shower before you have to pump it up again.
Jeez, you guys are freaking hot shower here and your cold dip over there.
Yeah, I took a shower here today, right here. I was like standing here with this thing, like showering off this morning. So that's pretty much it for the installs. As far as like other stuff I've got on here, I've kind of got them concealed. I got my Max Tracks up here. They're black and you can't really see them. On the other side, I've got a 100-watt panel that's feeds the battery, and then I've got a 20-foot extension cord for a foldable suitcase panel.
Oh, nice.
It's that way if I want to park in the shade, which that's a big thing. Like a lot of people don't think about with their solar. They think like, oh, I'll just have it on top of my vehicle, and it's like, yeah, in the dead of summer, that sucks to sit out in the sun all day.
It sucks in the Rebel. It'd be different like if you could run the AC off of the solar. But they don't. You have to put a generator, and it's like I'd rather park in the shade, you know. Yeah,
and that's where like even the 20-foot one, I'd say go with the 40-foot extension cables. Don't jack with the 20 because there's so many times where I'm just
barely getting
right.
It.
Yeah, and like you know, I mean, when you're living out here, power is key. If you don't have any power, you're dead in the water. So, but I love these upgrades. It's made the truck super functional. This is the best. I feel like I kind of have like a living room here. So I was joking the other day, like I was kind of baked at camp and I was telling jokes to myself and stuff, and I'm like talking to myself, I'm like, yeah, I got like my living room lounge area right here, I got my kitchen right here, I got my dining room table right here, and I got my bedroom right here. And I was like, it's all within like me just moving fractions of the, you know, a little bit of a body posture, and I've got all my stuff right here. So
all within an arm's reach.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long ago did you get all these upgrades? It was recent, right?
Yeah, I just got them within the past month.
Yeah.
And I ordered them in February, and here I didn't get them until September.
Isn't that crazy? That's going on with everything and everywhere, man.
Yeah. And then if you want to look on the interior here real quick, so this was the extension that I built. Let me get in here and I'm going to turn on some lights.
Okay. That's what I was going to say is like, this is, what length bed is this?
It's a 5-foot bed.
Is it a 2006?
2005.
5?
Yeah.
Toyota Tacoma and just...
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it's a short
5-foot bed.
And that was the biggest challenge is like, you know, a lot of people, when I hit the road, they're like, why don't you just buy a new vehicle? I'm like, well, because I can make a slide-out extension for $300. Like,
right.
Yeah, well, I don't want to go buy a $40,000 rig just because I don't have an extra foot on the bed. And on top of it, too, the 6-foot bed wouldn't be enough for me. So when this slides all the way out, it's actually 6 feet 10 inches. And so I can sit in here and I can have, you know, like I'm sitting up like this, like I was talking about. I can reach back in here and grab all the stuff from the battery and the fridge, and it's really functional. And what's nice about it being so low, like, or with it being so low profile, is that I've got the, you know, these 12 volt warming blankets we were talking about. And this is like the perfect size from like basically here all the way down to where you're at. So if I lay this on top here, plug it into my battery, the radiant heat coming up, just rising up, keeps the topper super warm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like I was saying, you know, I was at the hot springs that one time and it was down to like 15 degrees outside and it was 55 inside my topper. Just with this, I didn't have any other heat coming.
That's awesome.
And then up here, if you look, I've got shelves that I created from the roof rack screws. And so I just basically put L brackets in the little nut here behind it, and then drop down these little support beams and then tie it into the frame of the window there.
That's freaking awesome. Use the existing stuff, you know, instead of having to put more holes or...
Yeah, because I was like, I do not want to put some holes in this, because everybody was saying like, oh, why don't you can do this thing in this topper, because it's reinforced around the edges here, so you can actually cut out the center if you want to and create a pop top with these.
Oh, okay.
And people are like, why don't you do that? And I'm like, because I don't want water coming in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, you start cutting into fiberglass, and I think that's kind of iffy. Another thing too, the Toyota Tacoma has these little cubby holes in the side, which I really like. And so I've got these cubby holes here, which I'll keep like different snacks and things. And then I've got a big cubby hole down here, which I don't have insulated, but I can keep like items in there that are...
Yeah, that's that stock one that came, huh?
Yeah,
that's
and then
pretty neat.
And then over here is the...
And then you made a couple.
Yeah, and then I made a couple, and then I have another inverter too, like a 400 watt inverter.
Oh, nice.
And then I have a 750 watt inverter underneath my front passenger seat. So I've got a bunch of different ways to generate power. I found that being back here, and you know, people ask me all the time, like, oh, you know, I want to get just enough power to get me through the day, and I'm like, no. You need to at least get double that. Yeah, right. Because you and I both know, like, being out here, you're gonna have days where you don't have sun.
Too cloudy down some of the biggest systems, you know.
And the last thing you want to do is have like a fridge full of like expensive food that you just bought that you were planning on eating all week long. Yeah. Go bad on your second day out. So I tell people, I'm like, you know, if I were to start over, the first thing that I would get in a vehicle is the battery system and the fridge. Because those are the two things that can keep you out the longest. Because your food storage just sucks with a cooler, and you don't want to be running back in town for ice just unreasonably. Yeah. And then having power, it just opens up so many possibilities back here. You don't have to drive into town and like power up your computer or anything. And people don't realize, even like your phone, if you don't, you know what I mean, like more than one electronic, whether you have a computer or a phone or whatever else, like you're not going to have enough just within your vehicle with it sitting there running to charge them, you know what I mean? Right. You're going to sit there for hours with your vehicle running. Yep. Or you can get yourself a little, you know, power system, and then if you don't, you're out there going to Starbucks trying to find a seat that has a plug by the wall. Yeah, totally. Well, and that's just it. It's like I wanted to minimize any unnecessary trips into town, so I could stay out the longest. You know, like once I get the jerry cans and get the you know, the extra gasoline, that'll increase my range by like another 300 miles. That's crazy. You know, and then I've got a high volume water purifier that I can use. It's a hand pump purifier from MSR. It's the MSR Guardian. I can do like 6 gallons in about 15 minutes. And so I can crank through water. And so it's like, if I'm near a water source and if I've got plenty of food with me, and I've got dry goods, I've got like a month of dry food, of dehydrated food that I could eat underneath the Sierra seat. And it's like, I could stay out forever, you know, and that's what I want to do. Yeah. So that's the whole purpose of building it like this. Well, man, 6 years, I mean, what's next for you, you know, other than increase your range and go farther and deeper into the abyss? What I was thinking was, I was like, I think the next step after this is a sailboat. Yeah? Yeah, I mean, that's a ways off, because I have so much more truck camping I want to do. But I think that eventually maybe like do the Caribbean, you know, get on a boat and just kind of, I think that'd be like the ultimate kind of nomad. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, and just learn how to do it. I think it'd be cool, because when I lived in California on the beach, man, I loved being in the ocean every day. So I think it'd be cool to be out there. Heck yeah.
Well, thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you bet, man.
I'm stoked that we all got to hang out and stuff. And,
yeah, it's great to finally meet you.
And you host in such a beautiful spot.
Yeah, this is a nice site, isn't it?
And if anybody wants to know where this spot is, it will never be told. I will take it to my grave.
The only way you'll find it is if you get to camp with us out here.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks a lot, everybody.
Thanks, brother. All right, man. Yeah, everybody, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And thanks to Brian and showing us, he's been a great host today and showing us all the different places. Is that better? A couple cool places, took us to a cool brewery. You guys probably saw the posts and stuff. So been really fortunate. It's been an awesome time. And yeah, thanks for following the channel.